Clips.
Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Clips.
Alrighty, YouTubes, another one of Kip's Clips in the afternoon. Welcome to today's World Infowar News at 1 Live. I'm sorry, I'm doing some live on air producing. I'm trying to sort out the fucking noise quality. Right, let's see if that does it. Yay! So hopefully you can hear me okay. It's not too quiet, it's not too loud. I'm aiming for the same level as the fucking other audio I'm playing. But hey hoes, I don't know how all this shit works, so hopefully the audio's okay in the afternoon. One and all, welcome to today's World Infowar News at 1 Live. How independent is the so-called independent media? 8 thumbs down should tell you, not that independent at all. They work in coordinated campaigns, they work in coordinated cults, that they go around and try and, I don't know, brown shirt tactics, vote down, call names. You don't like Tommy Robinson, you're a paedophile protector. And there's the evidence. Evidence. I mean, look at the numbers, people. And look at watch the number just click up. Let's see if it goes to about 15, 16, I'm thinking. And it'll be continuously, almost as if it's one person changing between accounts. Just saying what I see. But hey, it makes you feel important that there's people out there that will waste their time doing that. And they think they're Jason Bourne. They think they're fucking something cool. They think they're fucking iRobot Anonymous coming to hack you and save the world through being a creepy motherfucker online. Do you know all these motherfuckers who try and hack people and all that shit? They're peeping toms. They're perverts. They're perverted. Fucking leave them to it, man. You can fucking, I don't know, no skin off my nose. But anyway, welcome to the World Infowar News at 1 Live. The island of independence as the World Infowar rages on, fighting for your loyalty. If it's not the ukcolumn, if it's not Infowars, if it's not the BBC, if it's not RT, they're all fighting for your loyalty out there, filling your head up with shite to get you to behave in their required manner to vote for their shit. So today, as always, asking the question, how independent is the so-called independent media? They ain't independent. You can clearly see the coordinated campaign, the rounding up of useful fucking idiots, the shepherd creating a flock to send them off in a direction to the polling stations. That's all it is. It's just a new party political broadcasting method through the YouTubes and through the internet, while telling you, we're independent and we're telling you the truth, we're the truth, and we're the truther, independent media, truth tube 451, truth juice, truth that, truth this. Stick your fucking truth up your ass. If anybody comes to me telling me they know the truth, No, they're full of shite in the first place. But anyway, in the afternoon one, and also it's a triple prong attack, watching the BBCs, the RTs and the UK column. See the double speak, the coordinated agendas between all of them, and you can clearly see that they're all warriors in this world information war that's going on. They're not there to tell you the truth. They're not there just to enlighten you or awaken you up. They're there to put you to sleep so they can inject whatever they want into your nut. Anyway, that's just my humble opinion. So in the afternoon, one and all, as always, if you appreciate it, make sure you thumbs it up. Or if you're a Tommy Robinson robot, make sure you thumbs it down. If you're an alt-right piece of shite, thumbs it down. If you're one person that throws bacon at brown people, and you're a stupid old twisted woman with saggy tits, so you feel bitter against the world, then use all your joint accounts to thumbs it down. If you're not and you appreciate what I do, thumbs it up. It's much appreciated. There's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below as well. It's digital busking. Everything's available and accessible free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that people will consider using their spare change, not their life savings, and the digital hat, Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. Mega thanks to everybody that does as well. Again, as always, it'll be a triple prong attack. The Russia Today, the BBC's, and the UK column. Now, I'm going to start with the UK column today, primarily because they are one of the scam artists behind us. We're independent citizen journalists! Really? Really? There's nothing journalistic about what you do. Under no definition of journalism can your shit be fucking defined. The independence bit as well, don't make me fucking laugh. And the fighting for the small guy, well, why is it all fucking Lord Farquhar, lords and landowners of the British Empire that's funding all you fucking Bible bashing morons? Just a question you should ask yourself. So in the afternoon one, and I'll say hi to the folks in the chat. Oh my god, what the fuck? Vadoom, Stewie, Chinese Lollipop, Apple Charlotte, oh my god, what the fuck? And Stewie and Blazing in the house in the afternoon, guys and girls. Thank you for joining so much. So let's have a wee look at the UK's fifth column, lack of independence. I've got a sneaky, my crystal ball's warmed up. They're going to be talking about Trump. They're going to be running interference about Novacek as well, predominantly like poo-pooing the British state's version and bigging up the Russian state version. Maybe the F-35 will come into it. Maybe talking about how good the Armitage tank is. I don't know, just stabs in the dark, let's see.
Good afternoon, it's Thursday the 26th of July 2018, just after 1
Good to see you've got your Sunday school shirt back on.
o'clock. Welcome
Garish.
to UK Column News. Your host today, Mike Robinson, and myself, Brian Garish.
We're starting with trade today, Brian, international trade, because of course that's something that Theresa May has been talking.
Oh, trade, right, okay, so you're going to be talking about Brexit. And trade, are you going to be talking about the trade war or the currency war that Donald Trump's kicked off?
About a lot. Well, Liam Fox was talking about it yesterday at the Heritage Foundation.
Could be a real
in
quote,
Washington.
could be fake. There's no way of knowing. They just make shit up.
And he said, in my first speech as Secretary of State for international trade, I set out the case for an open and liberal trading environment. That speech was in Manchester, home of the Industrial Revolution, and a city with iconic associations with free trade. That was nearly 2 years ago, when trade barely registered on the radar of most of our media. Now, of course, it's right at the top with NAFTA and all the rest of it. But he said, it's therefore a good time for us to examine both our attitudes to trade from first principles and to measure them against our domestic priorities and international obligations. And he started talking about Adam Smith and David Ricardo. And he said, now, of course, since those days, since 1817, the world has changed beyond all recognition. Yet the experiences of globalization and of technological advances unimaginable in Ricardo's time have only served to validate his theory. The principles of free and open trade have underpinned the multilateral institutions, rules and alliances that helped rebuild post-war Europe. and the world beyond. They helped usher the fall of communism and tearing down of the Iron Curtain, and facilitated 70 years of global prosperity. And they've raised the living standards of hundreds of millions of our human beings across the world. Indeed, he said, free trade has allowed us to take 1 billion of our fellow human beings out of poverty in just one generation. One of the great achievements in history. Well, what a liar. Because let's look at The Guardian here. This is from some time ago. UK government warned over sharp rise in child and pensioner poverty.
Oh, he's a liar, look! Here's one quote from somebody who lies, and here's another outfit that lies with an opposite quote. Oh, but what one shall we choose to give merit to today?
So Britain, the bastion of free trade, is experiencing the benefits of free trade, and poverty is rising as a result.
And that's precisely what we're exporting to the rest of the world,
well,
which
we're
is
exporting
poverty and problems as resources are hoovered out of these countries.
Well, absolutely, any parts of the world that we have any influence over. But if we contrast that with China.
You're Irish, you prick! Who's this royal we? Oh, right, the British Empire you're talking about, right, get you.
China has almost wiped out urban trade, The Guardian said.
Poverty.
China has almost, wiped out urban poverty, yes, thank you. Is China smelling of roses? Well, of course not. If you're poor, if you're still one of the poor in China, you're probably living near some kind of toxic waste dump or something. But it's the direction of travel here, which is important. China has not lifted millions out of poverty by embracing free trade. They have lifted millions out of poverty, 700 or 800 million people they've lifted out of poverty, but not by embracing free trade. They certainly haven't done it by embracing the Millennium Development Goals, which of course Liam Fox is talking about as well. They have done it in part by manipulating the system, perhaps through protectionism and state capitalism, but mainly through having a development agenda. So let's get back to Liam Fox again, what he said. But the effect of protectionism is close to settled science, as anything in economics will ever be. It means reduced productivity gains and lost economic growth. So, of course, Britain, being a bastion of free trade, is not into protectionism. But unfortunately, Britain has falling productivity. So I'm not quite sure where he's going with that one either. Let's get back to Liam. He said, the global economy continues to rebound from the dark days of the financial crash and ensuing recession experienced by many large economies. Nomura profits tumbled 91% on fixed income equity slump, according to the Financial Times today. Wall Street Journal a day or two ago, prolonged slump and bond liquidity rattles markets. I don't think you're too right about that one either, Liam. But anyway, we go on. He said, in areas such as steel production, we've seen new technologies enable us to produce the same output with far fewer employees. That's really good stuff there. Yes, fantastic. And he said, and
we need to go back to the good old days where factories were just packed. Bring back the sweatshops. That's what I want. I want to bring all manufacturing back to the UK. Pay everybody fucking 2 pence. Put them in a sweatshop to knit fucking everybody's pants.
Worse in a...
Yeah, you could get a robot to do it. But no, AI and robots doing shit that manual bullcrap. It's bad, honest. You should be doing that. You should feel like a worthy human being standing on a fucking production line putting a bit of paper for 8 hours a day. Fuck, been there, done that, man. Literally machines that can do the job standing next to you, and somehow, some way it's cheaper. Not probably now, but fucking 15 years ago or something. It was cheaper to get the humans to just stand there and go, that was your job. I think we need more jobs like that in Britain. I think there isn't enough people sitting like nodding fucking dogs all day for 8 hours on their feet doing a fucking monotonous fucking job that a robot can do. Call me crazy. I know the Triffer Industrial Complex has told me Terminator's real, 5G's going to kill me, and your calculator is fucking listening to you. But I want I want robots to do the monotonous bullshit jobs that human beings don't want to do it.
World of globalization.
Call me crazy.
This is a separate part of the speech. He said, worse, in a world of globalization where interdependency is increasing, and where disruptions in one part of the world can quickly ricochet around the rest, our ability to act unilaterally with impunity is diminishing by the day. So this is supposed to be a speech promoting free trade, and here is the key point, because globalization and the British model of free trade, as it's currently perceived, is one where we are absolutely interdependent on everybody else.
I'm bored of this. Long story short, the UK column are starting off with a hit piece on Liam Fox. Right, that's the undercurrent of this.
In an equally other parts of the world, but South America in particular, during the winter months when it's not being produced. And she's going to deliver a farming policy which supports agriculture and improves the environment. So this is what she had to say. She's going to scrap the common agricultural policy. We knew that anyway. So she said, scrapping the common agricultural policy provides funds in return for public goods like improving water quality, reducing emissions, and planting wildflower meadows, a fundamental to our new approach. So the fundamental to Theresa May's new approach, bearing in mind that what has been highlighted by this issue of the potential of a no-deal Brexit is the issue of food imports and the lack of independence in our capability of food production. We're not going to produce more food because she's going to scrap the agricultural policy, and then she's going to divert the funds into what have been described as public goods, which is about turning farmland, productive farmland, back into
was passed in 2002 that a practitioner has been formally censured. According to the Dutch NOS broadcaster, the public prosecutor will announce after the summer if the doctor will face criminal prosecution. So we're now into the heart of it. We have euthanasia, whether you like it or not, is coming into Western European policy. And of course, the Dutch lead on this.
And these Bible-bashing fucking morons don't want you as a human being to have the right if you want to die. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's big. I don't think it's clever. I don't think it's horrible to think there's actually going to be profit attached to fucking killing people. But I'm anti-prohibition everything. It's just my stance.
It's already been pushed and pushed. Dementia. For whose benefit? Well, presumably the state, because the state ultimately...
I just presume. Great journalism, garish. I presume you're got ginger pubes. That's my citizen journalism for today.
Didn't have to pay for her care. Who lives and we decide who dies. A statement which gives us a look at the heart of British government. Would we have killed them with a drone strike? Too damn right. Boris hits back at criticism as jihadi beetles face the death penalty in the US. And I've entitled that Conservative State Executioner Beyond Authority, because this is where we've got to. Now, the two men at question, Alexander Coty and Shafi El-Sheikh, are linked to the murder of 27 Western hostages. Notice the language there, Mike. They are linked. And that, in my mind, is not the same as proof that they were the murderers. They are supposedly members of the IS terror gang of 4 men from West London dubbed the Beatles, which included the notorious executioner jihadi John Coty and El-Sheikh, who have been stripped of British citizenship, now face extradition from Syria to the US on terrorism charges. It's what is not stated in this article, which is a key. So I'll just bring in...
the same stuff that the UK column use. It's what they don't say that's the key. I'll take Melanie Shaw as an example. Please, any logical thinking human being with an IQ higher than the average Tommy Robinson fan, go and examine all the stuff the UK column has put out about Melanie Shaw and try and tell me what way is up. Same way the stuff that Brian Harvey's put out. Putting out. I mean, you're just like, whoo! You're saying you've got all this evidence and then there is no evidence. But I think I'm in the middle of going through the Brian Harvey and token Red Pill Phil interview. I lasted 20 minutes just talking about E17, man. I thought I was fucking 12-year-old reading Hits magazine. But as with the Trevor Industrial Complexes came to talking about E17 for 20 minutes. Then they're going into some dirt, and it's very interesting. Because I believe Brian Harvey's a genuine human being, which he's putting out his genuine thoughts and feelings. Is it mental to say, like, looking at him, you can tell he's took a lot of drugs? Not to smear the guy or anything, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, if I was in his position, I'd probably be dead by now, to be quite honest, and I'd probably look a lot more fried than he does. But genuinely looking at him, you kind of get that look about him. Anyway, so you can, I believe his head's been fried. The mob, the person, his management team was linked to Rupert Murdoch in the News of the World. Brian Harvey went against them, so he had the Rupert Murdoch News of the World mob come down on him. Then when the News of the World mob came down on him, he seemed to try to get appropriated into the Truther Industrial Complex. If none of yous can tell this, Rupert Murdoch is a neocon. The Truther Industrial Complex is neoconservative. Brian Harvey went against him, then tried to get sucked in with the Truther Industrial Complex. And I think he was just by that time he was just batshit crazy paranoid, recording all these conversations and stuff. And it got to the stage where he tied himself as knots when he understood the Truther Industrial Complex wasn't what it pretended to be, and he just became too much hassle for them and they just dumped them. So I believe he was trying to get used by the Truther Industrial Complex, whether it was to set him up, make him look stupid or whatnot. I don't know, but he's tried to get brought into the Truther Industrial Complex to propagate their bullshit. His problem was he was a wee bit too questioning. He wasn't so much of a nodding dog to the first person that came along to him and went, I'm a truther and I hate pedos. Come on, we'll save the world. Oh, yes, sir. I know, sir. A 3 bags, a full of sir. So, it's kind of interesting watching the Brian Harvey thing unfold if you listen closely to what's actually going on. And no doubt he was ball deep in all this fucking phone hacking shit and all that kind of stuff, but that's EastEnders. It's all soap drama shit, him falling out with his management company and them locking heads together, then his management company who was friends with Rupert Murdoch, the News of the World, going after him and trying to smear him. That all seems fucking absolutely legit and something that would happen. Then when they've smeared him in the mainstream press, they've came across and went, oh, we're the independent media, Brian. Come into our parlour. We're going to save the world by one David Icke Illuminati lizard and Bill Maloney paedophile hunter at a time. Yes, that's what we're going to do. You ever noticed Bill Maloney disappeared and up popped all the paedophile hunters? Who, if you actually go and look at the paedophile hunters and their political leanings, their political slants, they're all a bunch of alt-right fucking vigilantes. Now, obviously, I must be a paedophile or a paedophile projector because I'm pointing out exactly what I'm fucking seeing. That's the logic and the fucking IQ of the Truther Industrial Complex, but that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm watching all these paedophile hunter gangs bouncing about, and then I'm like, well, who are these people? Who are they? What are their politics? Why the fuck are they fucking putting a cape on and bouncing about doing what they're doing? Because your average person doesn't do that kind of stuff. Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. That's an argument for another time. But I mean, I'm looking at these people. I'll give you an example of one. I can't remember what paedophile hunter group it was, but they fucking got this paedophile in a car park at one point. Now, this guy was an English accent, but he looked brown. Next thing you know, the fucking big piece of, the big Phil Mitchell cunt. Mere veins and brain cells on his body. Standing there, next thing you know, he's like, you Pakistani fucking Muslim! And the guy's like, no. And he's like, and he was live streaming, right? So you knew he fucked up and actually let his real feelings and whatnot thoughts come out. And he's like, and for yous at home, that wasn't racist, you know? I'm like, well, mate, it might not. Who cares if it's fucking racist or not? It tells me what's going through your fucking nut. You see a brown cunt that's allegedly a paedophile and you automatically go to Pakistani Muslim? Me thinks you got a free Tommy Robinson fucking shirt. Anyway, I digress.
Shake there, picture insert.
Remember the days when the Truth Industrial Complex and people at the ukcolumn used to fucking entertain the fact that a lot of these Al-Qaeda, ISIS terrorists and all that were the orders for these groups, the tip of the pyramid for the control structure of these groups was Western intelligence, because all the fucking shit they do was serving the purpose, it was only benefiting other people rather than the cause they were reporting to be fighting for. Does anybody remember that? Even Alex Jones was doing that shit. Remember? Now it's just ISIS jihadis. Question no more. Don't ask how these fucking idiots have been wound up to the extent they're willing to be as stupid as Darren Osborne. Not from Hollyoaks, but the stupid fucking Tommy Robinson cocksucker who thought it was a good idea to drive a van into human beings. Human fucking beings. Human beings have been brainwashed to the extent they don't see other human beings as humans. They see them as animals. Call it Goyam if you want. They're dehumanising them. They're demonising them. In Alex Jones's case, calling them literal demons. And they smell of sulphur because they're from hell. This imaginary... Oh God, man, all these people and their imaginary playmates. God, Lucifer, Satan. Oh, you don't believe in you don't fucking shag yourself with the crucifix? You must be one of those Satans or the Lucifers. Anyway.
Stripped of British citizenship, how did that happen? On located
Tell me something worthwhile.
Without a... So here we have the British government
Trade
saying
Brexit,
we're very happy
UK.
to deny trials where evidence can be brought.
This is them using their conjecturing and assuming and quotes that you don't even know that's right, and then interjecting into your head conclusions that people who think they're telling you the truth will then go and parrot to their friends and families and out in the wider world, thus propagating their message. Propagating a message is propaganda. Propagating? Propaganda?
Forward.
Go check the etymology.
To simply kill, the word is, and Boris Johnson really can't understand why anybody should have any complaints about his decision-making process. This is a fiefdom, Mike. We're now into the stage where the criminal cabal that's running this country is openly boasting.
The criminal cabal that's running this country is under attack by the criminal cabal of lords and landowners of the British Empire, which is funding the ukcolumn. In fact, they're sitting in their offices right now, and the Truth Industrial Complex as a whole. The rebel media would be a good place to start as well. Go and trace their origins. Go and see what I'm going to fuck up the name here, but if you trace their origins or their media, where it came from, it's a newspaper in Canada that was it was the old colonial media in Canada. You know, before Canada became independent from the crown. Before the Queen didn't own it. Oh no, wait, the Queen still owns it. But anyway, I digress. Go and check out who they are. I think it was the Sun or the Star. The Toronto Star. I might be getting that fucked up, but it isn't that hard to find out by reading a Wikipedia page. And it all traces back to the power, the corporate powers of the British Empire.
Now of its ability to simply murder people, and don't you worry about it. You can't do anything about it. We've decided. Who could possibly imagine that we were wrong? Yep. This is pre-Nazi era.
Well,
or
pre-Nazi, post-Nazi, pre-Nazi. What do you mean?
As we said the other day, Brian.
You're a Nazi, I'm a Nazi, every motherfucking's a Nazi nowadays. I'm a fascist, you're a fascist, every fucker's a fascist nowadays. Nobody actually even goes and investigates what these things mean, or... Nobody even investigates what these things mean, just labels to throw out.
And the danger here is that because many people would have some sympathy with the position that these two were jihadi killers, they were murderers, and that they deserve the death penalty, that they are prepared to give away protections in order to, because of what they personally believe about these two. The fact of the matter is they have not yet been found guilty in a court of law. And if you decide that the government can behave this way with impunity without having any restrictions on their activities through the courts, then you're in a very dangerous position. And you're exactly right, pre-Nazi in its sort of in the way that it is.
And I'll be fascinated to see some of the reaction to our report on this, because I have no doubt in certain quarters there's going to be a backlash, because we are commenting on so-called terrorists. But the point is of what's coming on the back of that terrorism in this country. And if people don't...
Didn't you used to question who these terrorists were? Who wound them up to come and do this shit? Now it's just talking about them as if they're just genuine Muslim nut bars.
Understand how serious this is, coupled with these same politicians making decisions of life and death for dementia patients, for existence. I think there's a lot of people got...
For existence? I think he meant for example. Garish, you must have been on the booze last night or something, mate. You're not... Maybe he's just fucking needs a good meal.
To wake up to the...
Maybe he's just nearly dead because of the sun.
Speed at which Britain is now becoming effectively a fascist state.
Okay.
Said to you by the news organisation who rhymed and repeated The Guardian's... was it The Guardian's? Who was it yesterday? Mail Online, sorry. Mail Online's stories. Mail Online are literal fascists. Supporters of the British fascist fucking movement or whatever it was called back in the day. And still, a lot of people would say, still have those leanings. Friends of Nazis and Mussolini, and propagated their propaganda within the UK prior to the war. That's who these people are. You call others what you are yourself.
Good news, Brian. The F-35 has now made use of its new vertical landing pads at RAF Marham for the first time. So the new F-35 multi-role combat jets have used their vertical landing.
What prediction was that? The F-35 there? Shit, it's just everywhere right now. It's just everywhere. Both sides of the information war are just firing this F-35 shit at you left, right and centre. It's unbelievable. You know, I couldn't give a flying shit about warplanes and whether they fucking worked to the degree they worked or not until the Truffaut Industrial Complex get my panties all in a bunch about it. Now I'm an expert. Oh, well, this is what a lot of people come to the conclusion. The expert in military hardware because Mike Rivero told you, because Brian Gerrish told you, because Alex Jones told you, because David Icke told you.
Capability to land on the new vertical landing pads.
Oh yeah, so great stuff. The UK column doing more to weaken the military of the UK. It's not weaken it, but like it's an attack on the morale of the British Army.
This is really amazing because, in fact, construction presented a significant engineering challenge. Construction of these pads, because standard concrete is just not suitable for this. The design team had to source special materials from Germany because Britain isn't capable of making them. To make concrete which had the ability to withstand the high temperatures created by the aircraft engines. Without this, apparently there would have been a risk of cracking, which would in turn present a significant risk to the aircraft. And this was the first time this material has been used outside the USA. So the Germans are making it. But
is this like fucking military industrial complex DIY SOS or something? Is this like fucking military industrial complex fucking news?
Apparently they don't to ensure the Queen Elizabeth is capable of the F-30, but for how is able to land vertically at RAF Marham at the moment. But for how much longer? Because, well, here's Russia Today. US lawmakers defy...
Yay! Woo! Russia Today! Well, there was two of my predictions, F-35 and the Russian Federation's point of view.
Defense Secretary green light delay in F-35 sales to Turkey, and they say US Congress moved closer to an outright ban on sales of F-35.
So, if you notice here, there's two propaganda arms of the two different military-industrial complexes. The new resurgent Russian one. Russia, the second largest arms exporter in the world, only behind, I think it's the United States. So you've got the PR of the military-industrial complex of the United States going up against the PR of the military-industrial complex of Russia. And surprise, fucking surprise, you've got the UK fifth column telling you how shitty the F-35 is. Oh, look how bad the F-35 is. It can't do this, it can't do that, it's cracking this, and we need concrete from Germany. Oh, thank you, I really needed to know about concrete for Germany to save the world and shut down the satanic panic, paedophiles everywhere. And now the UK column just rhyming and repeating RT.
5 jets to
Let's see if they question this.
ally Turkey. First decision to buy Russian S-400 missile defense system. Lawmakers have now okayed a delay in delivery despite warnings from the Defense Secretary. Now they're saying that here that the senators say the Defense Department may not deliver any F-35 to Ankara until...
You can also get this information by going to the Russiatoday website. Get it straight from the source.
Congress, because in the United they are going to be shipped.
They should be called the RT, the Russian column, shouldn't they? Should be called Russia column.
To Turkey. Well, as we've mentioned, British F-35 engines must be sent to Turkey for overhaul.
Fuck's sake, man! Right. Does anybody annoyed that all they did is want to find out if Bigfoot was real and if aliens were real, and now we're experts in AR-15s and F-35s? Does anybody question that? Hold on, I was just interested in interesting shit. Next thing I know, I'm fucking love Donald Trump, hate the F-35, and think the Russian Federation has the best military equipment in the world. I wonder, I've came to all these conclusions on my Todd. Honest.
So at the moment, the F-35 is able to land vertically on this special vertical landing pad at RAF Marham, but possibly for not so much longer, because if Turkey can't get F-35 parts, which is currently the case, then Turkey can't fix the engines. And I'll just quote a little bit from this article. It says, as LREG reported last year, the Pratt & Whitney F-135 engines of Britain's frontline carrier fighter jets can only be overhauled in Turkey by decree of the American Joint Project Office managing the F-35 project. And they cite Harriet Baldwin, who was the minister responsible at the time. She said to the Defence Select Committee, in terms of the engine programme, that will happen again within Turkey. I believe the warehousing of other aircraft components is happening in the Netherlands, and there's a series of ongoing competitions. Turkey is a NATO country, and the question was put to her that this has never ever happened before, and she said, well, there was a net benefit of having Turkey overhauling mission critical major.
Long story short, they're running F-35 propaganda for Russia.
Exchange with the UK, Turkey can't.
If you're continuously talking down the American, UK, Western alliances military-industrial complex hardware, and continuously talking up the Russian shit, then you're a Russian propagandist, either directly or a fucking motherfucking useless idiot that's rhyming and repeating shit that somebody's managed to get into your head. Just my opinion. Not very popular, I know, but just my opinion.
Repair our F-35 engines, because Turkey isn't allowed to have any F-35 engine parts at the moment. It's not a problem, and at least there won't be any problem with the new vertical landing pads at RAF Marham cracking up with the heat, because there won't be much heat from those engines in the not too distant future. And the good news is there's going to be plenty of work opportunities for the avionics repairs in South Wales, because the avionics systems of this aircraft don't work either.
God, man, this is painfully fucking obvious to me. I know it isn't. It took ages takes ages for you to sort of, I don't know, it took me ages to come round to this way of thinking. Then when the penny drops with all propaganda, like once you understand the BBC's full of shite and it isn't news, you're like, whoa, you start seeing what they're actually doing. Same with the UK column. Here's a fat Irish cunt sitting in the UK column telling you about the sovereignty of the UK and not discussing the sovereignty of Northern Ireland. Ding, 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 ding. He's a loyalist. While all the time telling you how good Russian hardware is, while all the time telling you how bad the Western stuff is.
Absolutely.
So there we are. Well, good news. The good news is that the BBC
Melanie Shaw's out.
is paying out, well, we're not too sure how much, but well over £1 million.
Now, the UK column going after the BBC is the exact same MO as Trump and all the truther industrial complex morons in Yankee Doodle Dandyland going after CNN. Not that I'm saying CNN is telling you the truth. I'm just saying they're the head of the tip of the spear that the opposing criminal cabal is going after. So the alt-right truther industrial complex news cabal on YouTube, their biggest target in the news sphere is CNN and the BBC. CNN because it's CIA and BBC because it's MI5/MI6, depending if it's BBC Worldwide or domestic. It really is that simple. These people are information warriors fighting bullets into your nut, trying to kill your critical thinking and get you on board with their shite.
Pounds to a tearful Sir Cliff Richard. Sir Cliff has, of course, won his court case. So the BBC is successfully burning public money in vast quantities. Let's just have a little look at what they're talking about.
The BBC are bad, okay? Not using
Hear and believe. Is this just an accident by the BBC? The salaries
bad.
of those individuals.
The most significant
Get paid too much in the BBC.
Those details will be extremely interested.
Right. Well, it's not massively hot in the studio today.
I've got a tie on, but it's a reflective tie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got a tie on and you've also left your coat hanger in your shirt drying. Maybe it's to try and give his body some volume because he's literally fucking wasting away in front of our eyes.
I had to laugh at the sun here. Sizzling temperatures of 37 degrees C will set a July record, sparking plague of rats as sharks infest coast.
Yay! Yesterday it was Mail Online, today it's The Guardian and The Sun.
And toxic air blows in. So I'm not quite sure how...
It's The Sun, Rupert Murdoch. News Corp.
Sharks infesting the coast in toxic air causes a plague of rats. But anyway, I just thought it was quite amusing because, of course, Plymouth has had a plague of rats in the not too distant past, well, it wasn't 37 Celsius temperatures at the time, Brian.
These are cold weather rats.
Cold weather rats, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're a bit like the Siberian beavers.
Yes. So, if there is going to be a plague of rats, I do wonder if that's anything to do with temperatures or if it's more to do with the fact that local councils are not cleaning rubbish off the streets.
Everywhere you go, Rupert Murdoch's pulling the strings, Rupert Murdoch's pulling the strings. I need to work on that song. But The Sun UK, it's published by News Group Newspapers division of News UK, itself wholly owned subsidiary of Rupert Murdoch's News Corp. My lordy. So you get Brian Harvey pissing off Rupert Murdoch's News of the World and then trying to get brought into the Druffer Industrial Complex. You've got The Sun being The Sun. The Sun in the 80s were the ones that, try and read a Sun openly in public in Liverpool, for example. You literally might get the fucking shit kicked out of you. The Sun were the bedfellows of Margaret Thatcher and the York Right Freemasons. to hush up the Hillsborough disaster. Not to mention Margaret Thatcher being linked to Jimmy Savile, spending every New Year's at Chequers with Jimmy Savile to get the info on the paedophiles within the cabinet to keep them all under control. The links in the Truther Industrial Complex right into the fucking heart of all this shite is there if you look close enough. From the rebel media to Tommy Robinson to The Sun, the whole shebang. Vice media. What's his name? Tim Pool. He used to work for Vice magazine. Vice magazine at one point was owned by News Corp, or partially owned by News Corp. I think they still are, I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, there you go. There's the UK column, reading and rhyming articles from Rupert Murdoch's News Corp without even questioning it. Yesterday they were rhyming and repeating from Zikal, the Mussolini and Nazi and Adolf's best pal, the Mail Online. Just rhyming and repeating all their shit. But they tell you to question the news. But don't question the news when we can use the headlines and their stories to propagate the message we want to propagate. Now, here's something that will make perfect sense to a lot of people. Even in the conspiracy world, we'll have wee small pieces of these facts, but maybe somebody hasn't presented to them them to you in this manner. The Smith-Mundt Act is the act in America which prevented the American government propagandising its own citizens. When that act was in effect, how the CIA and stuff would propagandise their own citizens is they would have an asset, let's say for example in the Indian Times. I don't even know if it's a real newspaper, I'm just using it as an example. So the CIA would want to propagandise the American citizens, but there's a law preventing them. So they would have their asset, or their asset in the Indian Times, fabricate, make up, release, publish a story. Then the publications in America can publicise that story, saying, oh, we're just reporting on what the Times of India says. The American citizens are going, oh, hey ho man, it's just what the American Times says, nothing to do with our intelligence services. And there's the way that the CIA, before the Smith-Mundt Act was removed, would be able to propagandise the American citizens. The same goes with this shite. So, story gets put out on the Mail Online, story gets put out on The Sun. Next thing you know, you've got Sargon of Mossad, the UK column, fucking info whores, all propagating that story internationally. So you get people out there going, oh, this blah 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 blah, without anybody ever questioning where did this come from in the fucking first place. I mean, that's the first fucking thing that should go off in your head when you're critically thinking about something. Where did this information come from in the first place?
Anymore, and clearing away bins and so on. But the situation is so serious that the House of Commons has had to put out a report. The Environmental Audit Committee has put out a report today saying that at current temperatures, 20% of home temperatures reached 30 for 24. Many
the fucking Weather
particularly
Channel?
Hospitals and
they're taking the piss out of the BBC doing this, and then they proceed to do the exact same fucking thing themselves.
Care homes.
Look, the BBC talking about the weather and the fear of it. Now that's us just rhyme and repeat all the fear of the BBC.
Heat alert, woefully unprepared, being seen as...
Luckily, we do have the BBC to fall back on, because the BBC, as part of one of their articles today, produced a truly stunning climate change related scientific discovery. So brace yourselves for this. But apparently Labourers Peter Wackett, Jake Phillips and Luke Culhane say they sweat lots in their overalls when it's hot. So that's a major part of a BBC. We are.
You stick to fucking analysing Pizza Hut adverts, Gary. You're better at that.
Well done, the BBC. Well, of course, they went on and said quite a bit more. Here was part of a truly pathetic article by the BBC. And what was the little headline there? So I'm laughing as I say this. UK heatwave 2018. Why is it so hot? So I think the headline was designed governing our weather at the moment. You can say this woman.
Crusty old men talking about the weather. Sorry, I can get that out on the street. 10 for a penny.
If you just not be talking some form of scientific common sense. But and she says, well, we can't blame global warming for the holiday there because MPs.
Even the global warming stuff is getting, you can see it's getting used to polarise the world and put you into a political camp, aka the alt-right or the global warming deniers, and the alt-left or the other mass, the other left, the rest of the masses, that's the word I'm looking for, do support it. There's no room for anybody in the middle going like that. Hold on, is all this stuff getting kind of used as a political football and a way to manipulate people to get into a particular side of politics and vote for somebody in a ballot box? Me thinks it is. I don't know if fucking global warming's real or not. I've heard to both sides, and both sides can present shit to me that's very fucking convincing. I can even put a white jacket on and stuff and a suit and tie and pretend I understand it. I don't. What I do is try and analyse who's putting out what messaging, and what I clearly see is the messaging for the global warming, whether it's real or fake, there is no in between, is getting used to polarise people.
A warning.
Yes.
So we're
not sure that they did.
On cold. Caught today completely false at the very caused by.
So every time they got the BBC, all these funny graphs, tearing it apart, analysing it and laughing at it. The Sun, telling the truth. Mail Online, just telling the truth.
Climate change. Insane. But when you read into them now, there's Mr. Gummer, most people would know this gentleman as, the longest serving Secretary of State for the Environment, 1990s.
Environment shit.
His Valpat, Felix Gummer. Very interesting young man. So here he is working for Sandcroft. And I was just fascinated on his background.
Oh, you were fascinated about his background, were you, Brian? What was fascinating about his background?
Well, his overall responsibility for leading business development strategy and implementation. He has a particular focus on private equity, retail, FMCG sectors. He's worked across all areas of commercial sustainability, nearly a decade of which was at Tesco. He started his career gaining planning consents and delivering 800 square feet.
No, 800,000 square
Sorry, 800,000 square feet of the world's most sustainable supermarkets.
Oh, good.
So why haven't we got all those vegetables?
Well, this is a good question.
I don't know. They're good at zero.
It's a retarded question, and what you're doing is trying to use conjecture to fucking... You're trying to taint who this man is because of what he does. I don't know, this guy's an individual. He could be the nicest person put on the fucking planet, who's just employed to do a job and he thinks he's doing what's best for the world. But the ukcolumn don't like the job he's doing. So to smear the job he's doing, they need to smear the individual. You know, like Tommy Robinson's a wee midget agent provocateur. You're a paedophile! That kind of stuff.
Zero carbon. He published the Tesco PLC Corporate Responsibility Report for 2 years. So fascinating how this little advisory group goes around in a circle. It's advising government, creating policy. It can then advise the commercial sector who can increase their profits. Well, have a look. I had to put in a little video clip here. This opens government up to charges of manipulation. People tend to think that attempts to change their behaviour will be effective if they're simply
mind space. ukcolumn went on about that before. It's very interesting, actually. It does talk about how the government use applied psychology to manipulate you. Well, of course, they're only talking about the government using it. The Truth or Industrial Complex on YouTube don't use those tactics at all. They hate censorship so much that Rebel media copyright strikes people.
way, people have a strong dislike of being tricked. This dislike has a psychological grounding, but fundamentally it is an issue of Boris Johnson said he can decide whether somebody lives or dies.
More Mail Online Nazi
Here's
stuff,
part of the report
unquestioning.
Basically, the whole thing is a fraud.
Okay, well, let's end
Yes.
with this one then.
Oh, good.
Because chicken farmers or anybody that keeps chickens is going to have to make sure the baby wipes are at the ready. The
3 predictions wasn't too bad, was it? What did I get? Rhyming, repeating Russian Federation propaganda, F.E.A.R, and Novichok. Oh, but it had Brexit as well, and what did we also UK jihadis. Don't question how these fucking idiots have got to the frame of mind where they want to do the retarded shit they're doing. No, don't question who has a dog in the fight to make them act that way. Okay, here, I'll channel David Icke. Problem, reaction, solution, people. Woo! What a great meme that was. You get the fucking rinsed that meme. Man, if he copyrighted that, he'd be a rich man.
Public Health England is particularly concerned about the...
Then they go on to run Russian propaganda for what happened with Novichok. There you have it. You just make your own mind of what happened. Just don't let the UK column or RT or any of these fuckers make your mind up for you. Do never suspend disbelief with any of these bastards. It is not worth it. Next thing you know, you'll be polishing an AR-15 and fucking wondering why you've got such an interest in American history and fucking military hardware. What the fuck? What dimension did I wake up this morning? I like AR-15s, want to buy Tangy Tangerine, and fucking know more about the American Revolution than I do my own country's history. You've entered the Alex Jones dimension. Woo! Anyway, I digress. Right, so let's have... I'm running out of time as well. Should I screw RT? I'll do the headlines at RT.
The headlines on RT, the US President's National Security Advisor confirms that a second Trump-Putin meeting will be pursued.
Trump propaganda. Oh, and here's Trump's right-hand man, John Bolton. You know, the neocon. You know, one of the signatories to the Project for the New American Century. Ding, 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 ding. Any bells going off for anybody yet? No, thank you very much. Where's my moose loose about this house?
Postponed until, quote, after the Russia witch hunt is over. That is, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is grilled in the Senate over the two leaders' recent meeting in Helsinki.
Has the president told you what he and President Putin discussed in their 2-hour closed-door meeting? What took place?
Hookers and blow. The same thing all guys discuss when they're left alone in a room together. Hookers and motherfucking blow. And a bit of football, maybe.
Did you speak to the translator? Have you seen any of her notes?
Or should we be doing, as you put it, everything we can to push back on likely election interference by Russia?
And as Donald Trump tries to weather a political storm at home, fresh concerns over possible Russian interference in upcoming midterm elections are raised. Both Democrats and Republicans, however, are...
If you want to see how Russia is influencing and hacking and trying to determine foreign countries' elections, Sweden is the perfect fucking example. I've been talking about the Sweden agenda for, I don't know, over a year now. I need to go back and check all my show notes and stuff. But for over a year, I'm going to guesstimate, I've been pointing out this weird obsession by the Truther Industrial Complex. Not one fucking Swedish cunt amongst them. Not one fucking Hergen, Schmergen, Bergen, Durgen from Bergen Durgen can you find between them talking about this shit. But you get fucking little Jufro Watson, Tim fucking Poole, Alex Jones, the whole fucking rest of the barrage of fucking idiots, including Russia Today, pointing you in the direction of Sweden's problems. And if you analyse the information they're putting out about Sweden, It's no surprise that in Sweden, the rise of the alt-right, the rise of populism, the rise of nationalism, the rise of suck fucking Trump-onomics. I need to fucking copyright that one. I need to be able to say it properly first. Suck Trump cock-onomics. Easy for you to say. Suck Trump cock-onomics. That's what these people are in the business of. Make fucking, there's even memes out there, make Europe great again, make Sweden great again, make Britain make again, make yourself great again. Fuck all these outside fucking sources off and think for your fucking self before you jump on the Trump cock train or the suck cump. Suck Trump's cock-onomics. Easy for me to say.
Sure that Moscow will try to help the opposing party. And despite the EU saying it would not negotiate with a gun to its head over US tariffs, European Commission Chief Jean-Claude Juncker and Donald Trump agreed to work together towards eliminating trade taxes. And also to come, the 10th annual BRICS Summit of Emerging Economies is underway in South Africa, with American trade wars high on the agenda.
Get an idea of what Ruski is injecting
of
your
the
nut
year,
today.
warning that heat waves may become common in the UK and kill thousands.
They could, maybe, possibly, up to, probably, definitely. This model proposes that it could, maybe, should, probably, maybe, will, maybe kill you, probably, definitely, maybe. What an album, buy it. Got that? Good, believe it. It's
Every
true.
year. Heat maps show how temperatures in our cities are soaring. Now MPs say the government must do more to protect people.
I say, every third lamppost, a big fucking rotating fan. Then when we get these heat waves, we just turn on the fans. And what we'll do, we'll have solar panels on the top of these fans to pay for the electricity. See? Whoa, hey, thinking outside the box. Solved the fucking heatwave problem already. Like that. With no need for millions of pounds of a government fucking think tank. One man with a great mind with lots of fans to sell you. Just a coincidence that I've moved into the fan business and I've got stocks and shares and fans for us. Just a sheer coincidence. But the solution, problem reaction solution, to the heatwave problem is big fans on every third lamppost. I think we can do it, people.
The government needs to do a lot more to educate the public about the risks that heat waves pose, the actions they need to take to protect themselves and other people, and we need to fundamentally redesign our cities so that they're able to cope with higher temperatures.
Britons are struggling with sweltering temperatures on transport networks and in the workplace.
We've even had an example of a nurse who has had to be hospitalised after doing long shifts in a really hot accident and emergency environment.
Wow, man, even like anti-NHS fucking propaganda combined with, oh, it's hot shit.
Well, we'll have a series of reports on the science behind Britain's current heat wave and on
The science! Yes, you see, one day humans were born. The other day they created heat. The second day, on the third day, there was a heat wave. The end.
how weather patterns around the world are changing. Also this lunchtime.
What? The weather changes? I've been staying in Scotland all these fucking years and I never knew that.
From cricketer
Oh, it's a blind man. Oh no, it's the Pakistani dude.
to Prime Minister in waiting, Imran Khan takes the lead in Pakistan's election.
A fucking cricketer.
The BBC agrees to pay £850,000 to Sir Cliff Richard for his legal fees in the privacy case he won against the corporation. And Spitfire girl, Mary Ellis, the oldest surviving female pilot to fly in the Second World War, has died at the age of 101.
I said, I am the pilot. And they didn't believe me.
You see that, girls? Yous can go and die in the name of corporations. True. Anyway, so so predictable by all these news organisations. The UK column is the one that really is worth breaking down and dissecting from time to time. Objectively thinking about it. I mean, for many years I was watching that shite and it was so was so much in the cult, I couldn't see what was in front of me. They're obvious biased in one direction or the other, while all the time claiming to be independent. Them telling you how to vote, who to vote for, who's good, who's bad, what news organisations they blindly just propagate their shite, and what news organisations do they put up and dissect and laugh at and show you all the subliminals and all that. Very telling, in my humble opinion. So thanks for joining today, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Remember, if you do enjoy the World Infowar News at 1, make sure you thumbs it up. Hold on, I need to put the right camera on. 14, what did I guess? I said 16, didn't it? Let's see. Is that the same as last? Is that the same? See, I suspect it's just one absolute obsessed fucking Tommy Robinson moron. I think it's that creepy old wee bacon lady woman that, oh, that's what it is. I get it now. It's because I made the video about Rebel Media earlier on. They've managed to get... I still think it's just one person though. It's just one person. Oh no, sorry, that's thumbs up. I thought it was thumbs down. It was this one from the other night, which is YouTube approved, family friendly fun, people. It's brilliant. Ah shit's family fucking friendly. Go fucking figure. What fucking screwball and fucking YouTube is manly reviewing my stuff and going, whoop, there you go. Show that to your kids, people. Ah, hey ho, man. Good. Anyway, if you notice, it's just always the same. Well, and if you notice, I do notice. I take note of these things. So when they do come along, it always seems to be relatively the same amount. When you seem to be getting those boom, 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 just thumbs down going up within like a minute or two, even before something started. It always goes up to sort of the 15, 16 mark. So it's only 1, 2, 3 people with a few accounts that fuck all better to do their time than polish their fucking Tommy Robinson flags and try and be an internet warrior and show that what he's saying is bullshit by thumbsing it down. Ooh. And, you know, it works for some people. There's some people who are like, oh, I'm going to take away my... Oh, look! They thumbs it down! I'm going to take away my thumbs down and stuff because it's just too hard for me to take. Really? This is the bullshit, fake-ass world of fucking YouTube. A bunch of fucking idiots thinking they're Jason Bourne who think they can change the world 1 thumbs down at a time. Or change somebody's opinion or something. So anyway, sorry, World Infowar News for today is over. Make sure you do thumbs it up, share it with your friends, family and foes if you do appreciate the show. Leave all your comments, good, bad, ugly and indifferent. I forgot where I'm at. There's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. It's digital busk and everything's available and accessible free of charge to everybody, apart from the people I block from getting too much abuse off them. And I hope to do such a good job that you'll consider using your spare change, not your life savings, and use the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega big thanks to everybody that does. I'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Apple Charlotte, I hope you're doing well, Charlotte. We seem to be getting a small baw here of this heatwave up in Scotland over the last day and a half. Stewie in the afternoon, blazing. Steve, how you doing, my man? I seen your face bag thingy. I still need to read it and get back to you. In fact, let me do it live, because seeing you in the chat has just reminded me about it. It's been a while. It's the Thursday the 20. 9 o'clock tonight. Aye, Steve, I'll do my level best to be free for 9 bells tonight. I need to speak to the other half and whatnot and see what's happening. But I should be okay for 9 o'clock tonight. Aye, should be. I will let you know nearer the time, buddy, so thanks for joining as well, Steve. In the afternoon, guys and girls. Oh my god, what the fuck, Stewie, blazing. Catherine, how you doing, Catherine? Hope you've not got a sore head being upside down for all that time. Rab, how you doing, Rab? Nice to see you in, my man. Oh my god, what the fuck, Vadoom. Rab, Charlotte. Richie, how you doing, Richie? I need to ask you an email, but are you Rubber Richie as well and stuff? I've seen fucking contortionist stuff, so I don't know if you're a contortionist as well as a magician. F.E.A.R, mate, that's pretty cool. Catherine, oh my god, what the fuck? Charlotte, Steve, Richie, Chinny18 was in as well. How you doing, Chinny? Nice to see you in, my man. Oh my god, what the fuck? Blazing, Catherine. English. Alright, English, how you doing? See when people's names I don't recognise come in and say nice things about me, it makes me hell of a nervous. It's like my ding ding ding, my Illuminati paranoia just starts going back into my nut, man. Vadoom, Tom, how you doing, buddy? So thanks for joining at some point, everybody. Rebel Media was in as well. Oh, in fact, that must... Oh, here we go, there we go. That would have been one of the accounts. This would be one of the people... Now, I don't know if you were this way inclined and creepy and fucking want to do IP traces and all that shit, you could probably do it. Rebel Media, channel just started up, no subscribers, one thing we uploaded like just before the show started, and then before the show started it was like boop, 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 boop. So I'd imagine this is one of the accounts of that stupid old lady who phoned me in one time. You're a fucking crazy old English bitch with saggy tits. I'm no shit phoning you up, I'm shouting about it. Anyway, so this is how the brown shirt bully boy tactics of the alt-right happen. Well, at the same time they're going, freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech, we're getting censored, freedom of speech. Fucking bullshit. And so many people fall for this fucking Fiddler in the Roof fucking bullshit. Anyway, I digress far too much. I'm getting out on my bike to enjoy the weather blazing. Chinese Lollipop was in as well, and Stewie, so hopefully I've managed to say hi to yous all. Thanks for joining, everybody. I should be back tomorrow afternoon for another World Infowar News at 1 live. Hopefully yous can join me, unless I get a better offer. So my Skype's below as well, so if you've got a better offer, batter in. No, pardon me. Alright, YouTubes. Have a good afternoon. I'm off out on my bike. Catchies!
Clips. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. If they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so